Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're making the Forever Flounce kid top, and I know we love the adult version, so we had to do a kids version, and I am in love. I love everything about this top. It is basically the same as the adult version. There's just a couple things that are a little bit different in the construction of it, but pretty quick, pretty cute, and super sweet. So before I get started though, let me remind you about our fun fan giveaway of $50 Ellie and my gift certificate. And all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and comment below and you will be entered for our giveaway, which we do monthly. So go ahead. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Okay. All right. So I already cut out all my pieces and I am going to be making a single flounce 3/4 sleeved with the cuff. So we're kind of doing a little bit of everything today. I am doing the neckband option. So if you're doing binding, we are also going to, we have a video on binding and how to do binding if you wanted to do the binding for it. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my front. Now, if you're doing a double flounce, you're going to have a shorter side on the other side as well. I have a short side on one side because that's where my flounce is gonna go, and a wider side on the other side, which is where I don't have a flounce. So if you do have a flounce on both sides, your shirt will be smaller because it will be cut on the fold for the double flounce. And you'll have 4 of the side panels, which are gonna go attached to make it a whole thing. And you have 2 for one side, 2 for the other if you're making the double flounce. Got my cuff, my neckband, my ruffle, my sleeves, and my back, and a whole lot of puppy hair. I cut this while I was sitting on the floor watching TV. I don't know if you ever do that. And so my pups was right next to me and he kept putting his paw on it, and so he got hair all over it, but that's okay. So anyway, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our top and our side panels. So if you're doing a double flounce, you'll have 2 and 2. And we're gonna put them one piece right side up on your board, and then I'm gonna grab the other piece. I'm gonna match those right sides together. So remember, when you're cutting your fabric, make sure that your front and your back are mirrored. That means your right sides face each other, and they're like opposite, they're facing each other. And we're gonna match them at those raw edges at the shoulders, and I'm gonna do the same thing for my side panels. We're gonna sew those shoulder seams together. Okay, I'm gonna go over to my serger and sew those tops together. My shoulder seams have been sewn. So now we're gonna go ahead and work on our neckband. Like I said, I am doing neckband. So if you're doing binding, it's the steps are a little bit different. So you can watch our video on how to do binding. So I'm gonna grab, just putting these aside for a little bit. I'm gonna grab my neckband, and what I like to do first is fold it right down the middle, wrong sides together, and give it a memory crease. That way, when you are going to fold it, it will be nice and you already have that crease there. It'll be a lot easier. I'm gonna grab the right sides together, and I'm gonna sew that raw edge right there, sew that together. Once that is sewn together, I'm gonna grab my neckband, I'm gonna open it up, and as you can see where my fold is, I'm gonna grab my neckband and fold it again over that fold. And the fact that we did that memory fold makes it really easy to be able to fold again on that same line. I'm gonna pin right here where my neckband seam is, and I'm gonna quarter my neckband. So I'm gonna grab from the back where that seam is, I'm gonna go to the front. I like to do a little notch to show me where exactly my half is. And then I'm gonna put my front and my back right sides together and then go to the sides, and those are my quarters. I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of notch, notch. And I'm gonna put a pin there too because I'm gonna pin it to my neckband next. Once you quarter your neckband, you want to quarter your top. We're gonna grab our shoulder seams and go to the back and mark shoulder seams and go to the front. Then I'm gonna match my front and my back because my shoulder seams are not my quarters. It's a little bit off from the shoulder seams. One side and then the other side. And now we're gonna go ahead and place our band on. We're gonna start at the back, which the way you know which one's the back or the front, the back is higher than the front. And we're gonna put that seam, that back seam of your band right on top where you mark your back. Right sides together and pin. And then we're gonna go to the next quarter, right sides together and pin. And then the front, right sides together and pin. And then the next quarter. Right sides together and pin. And then I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine or my serger and pin and sew that band together. I'm gonna sew my neckband. What I like to do is I like to put that seam right underneath first. Make sure my needle kind of gets stuck on there so that when I go to pull it, it doesn't come apart. I'm gonna grab first right here my first quarter. I'm going to make sure my raw edges are aligned together, and I'm gonna pull and hold right here where my quarter is and make sure they're together, and then I'm gonna go to the next section and do the same thing and go all the way around. My neckband is on. I can go ahead and steam that neckband down. If you want to top stitch your neckband, you can do so. That is up to you. Now we're gonna go ahead and open our top and we're going to attach our flounce. I'm gonna mark my half. My flounce was cut in the fold, so I'm just gonna mark right here my half. Now our flounce is meant to be left raw, that raw edge. So I'm not doing anything to my flounce. I'm just gonna go ahead and pin it to my side. That is the smaller side, the side that needs the other half, because I'm only doing one flounce. If you're doing both flounces, you're gonna do this step on both of them. I'm gonna grab my flounce and open it up, and my straight edge, my straighter edge, not the one that's rounded, is gonna go along the edge of my top. And I'm going to go ahead and mark where I marked that center. I'm gonna put that right at my shoulder seam. Once it's right at my shoulder seam, I'm gonna go down the one side and pin, or pin, just pin, I guess, or clip if you have clips, your raw edges, and it's right sides together. So you're pinning the right side of your flounce with the right side of your top. And honestly, with mine, I have a little bit of flounce hanging here at the end, but that is okay. I'm gonna go over to my bottom side as well, my other side, the back, and pin my flounce all the way down. You don't need to pull your flounce, you just wanna fit it right there at those raw edges. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead to your sewing machine and use a basting stitch, which literally is just a very long straight stitch on your sewing machine, and baste that on. The thing about basting is that when you do that, your flounce won't move and get away from the edge once you go to attach the side panel on. I am not going to be doing, I'm not basting, so I'm just gonna move on. But if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel like this flounce might move on you, you might wanna go back and just baste it on. Now we're gonna move on to attaching our side. And if you have two sides, you'll be doing this to both sides. So if I put my side on, like so, that's the continuance of my top. Here's my arm side, here's my neck, my arm, here's my other arm side on the other side. Here's my flounce, it's already sitting there. So the right side of my side panel is gonna go right over the wrong side of the flounce, okay? And we're gonna match up right here first, right here at the seams, match up those seams, and then I'm gonna go all along the raw edge. And I am just using the same pins that I used to pin my flounce. So you're just basically sandwiching that flounce between the main panel, the middle main panel, and the side panel. Okay, and I'm going all the way down. All right, now I'm going to go over there to my serger, and I'm going to sew them together, making sure that all three of my layers are right side raw edges touching. So you want to make sure you catch all three of your layers in there. My flounce has been attached. Now, if you're doing a double flounce, you will do the same thing on the other side, but I only am doing one flounce, so that's why it's only on one side, and this is going to be gorgeousness. Now we're gonna work on our sleeves. We're gonna open up our top, and where my arm side is, I'm gonna grab my sleeve. First off, I'm gonna mark where my top is. I also like to do it with making a little notch. And then I'm gonna put that right at the shoulder seam. Match that up. Right at the shoulder seam. Once we've marked the shoulder seam, I'm gonna go raw edges together all the way around to the edge, to the end of the sleeve. You can pin it as much as you want. I don't usually pin it very much because I just go, as I'm sewing it, I'm kind of holding it. But if it's easier for you to just do a few pins, then that will be good. You're going all the way down to the edge. Right sides together. And I'm gonna do the same for the other sleeve, but as I'm doing the other sleeve, you wanna be very careful that you don't catch your flounce. You're gonna wanna move your flounce out of the way. And sometimes what I like to do is I wanna go ahead, I sometimes like to just pin my flounce out of the way, so that way it doesn't get cut when I'm trying to sew my sleeve on, because you don't wanna get that flounce cut in that seam when you're sewing your sleeve on. So let's go ahead and pin it and attach it. My sleeves are on, and you can go back and steam them. I always kind of like to steam them because it makes it like, gives it a better look when you steam. And then we're gonna go ahead and attach our sides. We are almost done. Gonna do our sides and then cuffs, and we are done. Such an easy top. I feel like we think it's like super hard, but then we actually do it and it's like, oh, that was actually kind of easy. We're gonna put it right sides together at the sides, match that seam at the armpit, and then go down the sleeve and then down the actual top, and do the same for the other side, and then go over and sew those side seams together. Again, make sure you move that flounce out of the way so you don't get it cut when you're sewing. Let's sew. Cuff and hem is all that we have left to do. We're gonna grab our sleeve to cuff. I'm just going to cut that off. I'm gonna grab my cuff. First off, I'm gonna open it up and fold it wrong sides together long ways, because I'm going to do the same thing that I just wanted to give a memory crease, just like I did my other one, my neckband. I'm sorry, that way I have that for later. I'm gonna open it up and fold it now long ways. That was the other one was sideways. This is long ways, and I am going to sew up that raw edge. Remember, your stretch is going this way, just to make sure. If you don't know which way your your cuff goes, and you're kind of confused, make sure you stretch on it and see which way your stretch is going, which way you have the most stretch, and that is the way. That's where you're gonna sew. I'm gonna go ahead and sew those together to make it one continuous band. Now, I don't quarter my bands. I just half them. You're more than welcome to quarter them if you want, but I'm just going to half them. Once they've been sewn right there, I'm going to fold them back on that same fold I created earlier to make it a little band. So cute. I am so excited about this little top. It is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to try it on my little niece. Okay, I'm gonna match. So I'm gonna pin right here where my seams are. And then I'm going to grab my seam back and then go to the front, and that's where my half is right here. And I'm going to do the same for my sleeve. So here's my seam, and I'm going to the front, and that is where my half is. And I'm gonna fit my cuff, and I'll do the same for the other one in a minute, but I'm gonna fit my cuff right into that and match up that seam on my top to the seam of my cuff. Right sides together. And then where I marked my half, I'm gonna match that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my sewing machine and sew that cuff on. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one on as well. All right, let's go sew it on. We are basically done with our top. All we've got left to do is tuck in that serger tail, which what I like to do is I like to put my serger tail right over my seam and zigzag stitch it over and tuck it in and just clip it and hem, and we are done. Look how cute this is. We're gonna hem by doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm just folding it in 1/2 inch and seaming, and then I'm gonna go over to my cover stitch and hem it, and we will be done. We are done with our gorgeous top. I hope you enjoyed this sewing tutorial. I hope you really like it. Oh, how cute. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Come visit us on our Facebook and Instagram page so you can show us what you're making and you can see what everybody else is making. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.